Good morning children. Welcome to the geography class of ISC class 12th. Today we will continue chapter 13 water resources and types of irrigation. Today is day 5 for the chapter and today we will study from page number 264 to page number 272. In the last class, that is on day 4, we have studied the primitive methods of irrigation, inundation canals, definition of inundation canals, areas and states of inundation canals, advantages of inundation canals, disadvantages of inundation canals. On day 4, we have also studied about the modern methods of irrigation, tube wells, definition of tube wells, factors on which tube well irrigation depends, methods of drawing water from tube wells, areas and states of tube well irrigation, advantages of tube well irrigation and disadvantages of tube well irrigation. Now let us go through the objectives we are going to study in today's class. Today we will study canals as a modern method of irrigation, definition of canal, factors affecting canal irrigation, difference between inundation canal and perennial canal, important canals of Uttar Pradesh, important canals of Punjab, advantages of canal irrigation and disadvantages of canal irrigation. First of all, let us go through some technical terms that are related to today's topic. The first term is canal. Canal is an artificial waterway constructed to allow the passage of boats or ships inland or to convey water for irrigation. For example, Indira Gandhi Canal. The second term is dam. Dam is a wall or barrier constructed across a river to hold back water and raise its level, forming a reservoir used to generate electricity or as a water supply. For example, Bhakra Nangal Dam. The next term is inundation canals. Inundation canal is a type of canal in which water is available only during flood periods. These types of canals are found in the Satluj Ganga plains and Brahmaputra valley. For example, Sarhind Canal, Indira Gandhi Canal are inundation canals. Barrage. A barrage is a wall usually constructed in the lower course of the river in order to raise the level of water in the river. It helps to irrigate the lower regions. Example, Farakka barrage between India and Bangladesh, built on river Ganga. The next term is ray. A salty surface crust found on the soil in parts of India is termed as ray. Now children, let us start the topic. Canal irrigation. Canal irrigation amounts to about 40% of the total irrigated area in the country. This type of irrigation is more prevalent in northern part of India where the rivers are perennial and flow through flat terrain. Let us go through the conditions necessary for digging canals. The main requirements or conditions for canal irrigation are: number 1, perennial source of water, that is snow-fed rivers which may be used for development of canal irrigation should be there. The water from these rivers is stored by building a dam or a weir across the river. The water is then distributed to the fields during the dry season by means of canals and distributaries. The second condition required for canal irrigation is low level relief with deep fertile soil. Number 3, there should be soft soil for digging canals. Number 4, the climate should be moderate, that is the river should not freeze due to cold climate or the river should not dry due to high rate of evaporation due to high temperature. Number 5, there should be cheap labor for digging canals. Broadly speaking, canals in India are of two types. Number 1, inundation canals. Number 2, perennial canals. Now, children, let us see the difference between inundation canal and perennial canal. Inundation canals are taken out from the rivers without any regulating system, like weir barrages at their head to regulate the flow of river. Means there is no regulating system in inundation canals, whereas in perennial canals we have a weir, barrage or a dam to control or regulate the water in the river. Inundation canals are taken out from the rivers when they are in flood and there is excess of water, hence they are dependent on rains for supply of water. Only the lower level regions can be irrigated by inundation canals, as once the rainy season is over and floods subside, the level of water falls below the level of canal head, but a perennial canal irrigate the fields throughout the year. Inundation canals was taken out from river Satluj, which is prone to floods during the rainy season. Inundation canals are mostly unlined, whereas perennial canals are lined or cemented. Canals used to be the most important source of irrigation up to 1960s, but in 1970s they yielded first place to wells and tube wells and now constitute the second most important source of irrigation in India after wells and tube wells. The percentage of canal irrigation area to total irrigated area in our country has fallen from about 39.77% in 1950-51 to 26.19% in 2011 and 2012. Canals can be an effective source of irrigation in areas of low level relief, deep fertile soils, perennial source of water and extensive area. Therefore, the main concentration of canal irrigation is in the northern plain of India, mainly in Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. The digging of canals in rocky and uneven areas is difficult and uneconomic. Thus, the canals are practically absent from the peninsular plateau area of India. However, the coastal and the delta regions in South India do have some canals for irrigation. The net area under canal irrigation in India is about 17 million hectares. The main canal irrigated areas in India from west to east are Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. These states account for about half of the canal irrigated area of our country. In South and Central India, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu are the important states for canal irrigation. Now children, let us study canal irrigation in Uttar Pradesh. Canals constitute an important source of irrigation in Uttar Pradesh. The state is drained by perennial rivers originating in the snow-covered Himalayan ranges and is blessed with fertile soils. But the amount of rainfall, especially in western parts of the state, is not sufficient for sustained agricultural growth. Therefore, a large number of canals have been constructed to provide regular supply of sufficient water to crops. Uttar Pradesh has about 2,756,000 hectares land under canal irrigation, which is 18.05% of the total canal irrigated area of our country. Over 1/4 of the net irrigated area of the state is irrigated by canals. Now children will study about the main canals of Uttar Pradesh. The first canal of Uttar Pradesh we are going to study is Upper Ganga Canal. The Upper Ganga Canal takes off water from Ganga at Kankal, that is in Haridwar in Uttaranchal. The construction of this canal commenced in 1842 and was completed in 1854. The main canal is 342 km long, while the length of its distributaries is about 6,200 km. During the first 32 km of its course between Haridwar and Roorkee, it passes through a broken land so that at some places it is taken out over the rivers and at others below the rivers. It irrigates about 7 lakh hectares of land in the upper part of Ganga Yamuna Dwab. Districts of Saharanpur, Meerut, Ghaziabad, Bulandshahr, Aligarh, Mathura, Etah, Kanpur, Mainpuri, Farrukhabad and Fatehpur get benefit from this canal. Its main branches are Deoband, Anup Shahar, Mota, Hathras. It is joined with the lower Ganga canal at Mainpuri, and the water in this canal is considerably increased. Further beyond, these two canals flow separately. Next, we will study about lower Ganga canal. This canal was taken from the Ganga near Naroda, that is Bulandshahr, in 1878. The length of the canal, including its distributaries, is about 6,000 km. Its main branches are Etawah, Kanpur and Fatehpur. It irrigates about 4.6 lakh hectares in the district of Bulandshahr, Aligarh, Farrukhabad, Mainpuri, 13,624 km, Etah, Fatehpur, Kanpur and Allahabad. Next we have Sharda Canal. As its name indicates, Sharda Canal is taken from the Sharda River at Banbasa near the Indo-Nepal border. The construction work on this canal was completed in 1928. The total length of the main canal and its distributaries is about. It is thus one of the longest canal systems of the world. This canal system irrigates about 8 lakh hectares of land, mainly in Allahabad, Sultanpur, Pilibhit, Bareilly, Hardoi, Shahjahanpur, Sitapur, Lucknow, Barabanki, Raebareli, Unnao, Pratapgarh and Kheri districts of Uttar Pradesh. Next, we will study about the Eastern Yamuna Canal. The Eastern Yamuna Canal takes off from the river Yamuna at Faizabad. It was constructed in 1831. The main canal and its distributaries cover a distance of 1450 km and irrigate about 2 lakh hectares of land in the districts of Saharanpur, Muzaffarnagar, Meerut and Ghaziabad. It again joins the Yamuna River at Delhi and irrigates a part of the Union Territory also. Next, we have Agra Canal. Agra Canal is taken from the right bank of river Yamuna at Okhla in Delhi. It was built in 1874 and irrigates about 1.5 lakh hectares in Agra and Mathura in UP, Faridabad in Haryana, Bharatpur in Rajasthan and also parts of the Union Territory of Delhi. The next canal is Betwa Canal. Betwa Canal was built in the third 5-year plan. It takes off water from Betwa river about 56 kilometers southwest of Jhansi. It irrigates about 1.2 lakh hectares in Jhansi, Jalan and Hamirpur districts. Apart from the above mentioned major canals, some other canals are Ken, Chambal, Dhasan and Son. They irrigate some areas in the southern part of Uttar Pradesh. Now children, let us study about the canal irrigation of Punjab. Canal irrigation accounts for about 20% of the total irrigated area in Punjab and forms the basis of agricultural prosperity in the state. Now let us study some of the important canals of Punjab. The first canal we are going to study is the Upper Bari Doab Canal. The Upper Bari Doab Canal is taken from the river Ravi at Madhopur near Pathankot. Construction of this canal started in 1849 and completed in 1859. It irrigates about 3 lakh hectares in Gurdaspur and Amritsar district. Next, we will study about Sirhind Canal. Sirhind Canal was taken from the river Satluj at Roopnagar, that is Ropar, in the year 1886-87. The total length of the canal along with its distributaries is about 6,115 km. Its main branches are the Patiala, Abohar, Bhatinda, Kotla and Ghaggar. It irrigates about 7 lakh hectares in Patiala, Sangrur, Bhatinda, Ludhiana and Firozpur districts. The Kotla and the Ghaggar branches provide irrigation to Hisar and Sirsa districts of Haryana also. In order to augment, that is increase the supply of water, the Sirhind feeder canal was completed in 1960. It takes off from the Firozpur feeder at its 18th kilometer at Malawala. It is 142 km long and supplies water to Abohar branch that is located in Firozpur. This water is drawn from the Satluj and Bias river, which used to go unused to Pakistan. It also provides irrigation to Firozpur, Faridkot and Muktasar districts in Punjab and to some parts of Rajasthan also. Now children, let us study about Bhakra Canal. Bhakra Canal draws water from Bhakra Dam built across the Satluj river. It was completed in 1954. It irrigates a vast area of about 15 lakh hectares in Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. In Punjab, Ludhiana, Patiala, Nabha, Sangrur, Jalandhar and Firozpur districts are benefited by this canal. Next we have Bist Doab Canal. Bist Doab Canal is a part of Bhakra Nangal project. The total length of this canal along with its distributaries is about 1090 km. It irrigates about 4 lakh hectares in Jalandhar and Hoshiarpur districts. Bikaner and Bias are other projects which provide irrigation to parts of Punjab and the neighbouring states of Haryana and Rajasthan. Now children, let us study about merits or advantages of canal irrigation. Most of the canals provide perennial irrigation and supply water throughout the year, even in dry period when it is needed. This saves the crops from drought conditions and help in increasing the farm production. Canals carry a lot of sediment brought down by rivers. This sediment deposited in the agricultural fields add to the fertility of soil. Some of the canals are a part of multi-purpose projects that are dams, therefore provide cheap source of irrigation. Although the initial cost involved in canal irrigation is much higher, it is quite cheap in the long run. Canals not only provide water for irrigation, but they also control floods in the river. Canals irrigate large area as compared to wells, tube wells or tanks. Now children, let us study about the demerits or disadvantages of canal irrigation. The canal water soaks or percolates into the ground and leads to the problem of water logging along the canal route. Number 2, canals are dependent source of irrigation. If the rivers dry, the canals also dry up. Number 3, excessive flow of water in the fields raises the groundwater level. Capillary action brings alkaline salt to the surface and makes large areas unfit for agriculture. Vast areas in Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh suffer from the problem of ray, that is collection of salt in the fields caused by canal irrigation. About 36,000 hectares of land have been rendered useless in Nira Valley of Maharashtra due to high concentration of salts in the soil resulting from canal irrigation. Number 4, the marshy areas near the canals act as breeding grounds for mosquitoes, which result in widespread malaria. Number 5, many canals overflow during the rainy season and flood the surrounding areas. Number 6, canal irrigation is suitable in plain areas only. They cannot be used in the mountains or in the plateaus. Number 7, canals are an expensive source of irrigation as farmers have to pay regular tax or money to the government for using canals. So children, with this we have completed today's topic. Hope that you have understood the topic properly. Now let us go through the objectives we have done till today. On the first day of the chapter, we have studied about water resources of India, under which we have studied about surface water, groundwater and lagoons and backwaters. We have also studied about water demand and utilization and emerging water problems. On day 2, we have studied conservation of water resources, prevention of water pollution, recycle and reuse of water, watershed management, rainwater harvesting, national water policy, irrigation in India, need or demand of water for irrigation in India. On day 3, we have studied about the primitive methods of irrigation. We have studied about wells and tank. Under well irrigation, we have studied definition of well, factors on which well irrigation depends, methods of drawing water from wells, areas and states of well irrigation in India, advantages of well irrigation and disadvantages of well irrigation. On day 3, we have also studied about tanks, definition of tank, factors on which tank irrigation depends, areas and states of tank irrigation in India, advantages of tank irrigation and disadvantages of tank irrigation were studied. In the last class, that is on day 4, we have studied about the primitive methods of irrigation, inundation canals. We have studied the definition of inundation canals, areas and states of inundation canals in India, advantages of inundation canals and disadvantages of inundation canals. On the same day, that is on day 4, we have also studied about the modern methods of irrigation. We have studied about tube wells, definition of tube wells, factors on which tube well irrigation depends, methods of drawing water from tube wells, areas and state of tube well irrigation in India, advantages of tube well irrigation and disadvantages of tube well irrigation. Today was day 5 for the chapter, and the objectives we have done up till today are modern methods of irrigation, that is canal. We have studied about definition of canal, factors affecting canal irrigation, difference between inundation canal and perennial canal, important canals of Uttar Pradesh, important canals of Punjab, advantages of canal irrigation, and at last we have studied the disadvantages of canal irrigation. Now children, it is the time for you to take your homework. You have to mark the related question answers from exercise 2nd and 3rd. You also have to write the answers of a few questions in your copy. I will read the questions for you. The first question is, define canal. Differentiate between perennial canal and inundation canal. Question number 2. Mention some factors on which canal irrigation depends. Question number 3. Name some areas and states where canal irrigation is done in India. Question number 4. Name the main canals of Uttar Pradesh. Describe them. Next question. Name the main canals of Punjab and describe them. Next question. Mention some advantages of canal irrigation. And the last question is, mention some disadvantages of canal irrigation. Children, you have to read the chapter from page number 264 to page number 272. You must see the school YouTube link given to you. We will very soon meet in a new video with a new topic. Till then, keep exploring. Be safe and happy. Thank you.